Hello there, Dan the Weatherman here. Hey, welcome to my weather show. This is the global edition, where we take a look at things going on around the globe. Once again, it's been a week of extremes, and it's a bit like Mother Nature's taken a blowtorch and she's gone to parts of the north of the country and north of the globe and been like that. Some extremes of temperature and stuff that has gone on that we literally have never seen since records began. Take, for instance, Greenland, where, as you know, we've had excessive melt over the course of this melt season for much of Greenland. Over the last several days, we've had not just significant melt, these are the last 14, 15, 16 of August, several days with a pretty keen southwest flow. Where you see the orange, that is melt, so it's literally across most of the ice island. But so significant was some of this melt, and these in particular southerlies coming through, where we actually had rainfall for the first time at the top of the ice sheet. And you say, okay, Greenland, to give you an idea, the top of it is over 10,000 feet high, over 3,000 meters. So it's a bit like getting rain at the top of the mountain, but of course you're in the Arctic Circle. Unprecedented. Just to give you an idea as well, this season we are looking, of course, at one of the most significant seasons for melt for Greenland. Loads and loads of melt around the edges, over 2 months worth of melt days. And how did it all happen? This significant warmth, as I mentioned. Low pressure formed, as we have seen so much this season, because of course the warm seas, less sea ice, that created a surge of warmth that went in. And you think it's just a one-off where you actually see rain to the top of the Greenland ice sheet. There'll be more significant warmth to come. Talking about the seas, look at these, and this is the actual sea surface temperature anomaly. We see this map a lot of times these days, but you compare the orange where temperatures are above normal, the red where it is blood red, 3 to 5 degrees North America there, and just take a look at that, 3 to 5 degrees above normal, and in some places even off the scale. And look at that, you say there's a lot more warmer than there is cooler as well. Yes, the hints of some La Nina developing later this season, but with that as well and warmer seas, that creates almost like steam in a bath to allow those things to surge through. And I mentioned another significant warming spell for Greenland this week. It could be on the cards once again. Cooler weather with low pressure, that surge of warmer than normal weather there, and you've seen this map over the last several weeks. The orange and red bits are where we're looking at temperatures well above normal. A couple of spots jump out, don't they? Eastern parts of Canada, Greenland again, and then this chunk here, parts of Western Russia, significant warmth to Australia, and then, as you'd expect for this time, the business end of winter for the southern hemisphere, the plumes of cold coming out. Running this through the week, and watch what happens. You'll see that surge of warmth once again with low pressure. Some tropical warmth will as well track its way into Greenland. Look at that there, 3, 4, 5 degrees or even warmer than that across parts of the top of the ice sheet. Significant melt, and look at that warmth there continuing. Meanwhile, further south, some surges of cold will continue, particularly parts of South Africa, over the course of this week. The jet stream, some 20, 30 years ago, the jet stream wasn't as wiggly like a piece of spaghetti. It was more meandering. When you get more wiggle, you get more oomph in the weather systems, more amplitude. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. Remember, we had the big blocking high, the big upper-level ridge over western parts of North America, starting to see some changes as we get towards the end of the warm season here in the northern hemisphere. There'll be some warmth once again because of a big digging low across the south and west of Greenland. Look at this system here, and that surge there, that will send in that warmth. And meanwhile, all the green, that is significant significant energy. And just look at these lows here, just the hints of that change with some colder air perhaps starting to filter its way down to northern parts of Canada. And as we look south, you may also notice as well the tropical troublemakers, one here and one as well that'll just be working and loitering across eastern parts of the US in the first part of the week, but some pretty intense energy. Taking a look at that one in close, this is the eastern parts of the US. Hard to see, but that is the east coast of the US here. Tropical storm Henri, a hurricane, but it will gradually fade away, getting caught up in an upper level low. That will cause it to linger before it eventually gets caught by the westerlies, steering itself towards Long Island and parts of New York with some significant rain. Of course, warmer than normal seas. Look at this churn of rainfall. This is accumulated rainfall. Purples, over 100 millimeters, right the way towards Long Island and parts of really the lower New York state, and right the way to Massachusetts. 50 to 100 millimeters of rain, and all that color there. There'll be some more active weather in the tropics as we get to pretty much the peak of the season climatologically. How about things elsewhere? Well, the heat has been the big story. I've mentioned the heat there for parts of Greenland. And all the heat we've had across parts of Europe and as well Africa, we'll continue to see more of that running through the week. Notice the temperatures, but just the hints of some cool change as we get a vortex here forming across parts of the Arctic. That will track its way down and give some hints of cool. Still very hot and some active weather for parts of the US. We'll see more of the tropical troublemakers forming, but that heat will certainly continue to spots east as well. Well, that's how it's looking. The ups and downs for the weather will certainly be continuing over the course of the week. That's the weather for now.